Hey guys, today we're going to check out the EVH Stealth Lunchbox amplifier. Let's get started. Alright, so first of all, I want to thank Motor City Guitar for allowing me to take this amp home so I could do a demo of it for you guys. And by the way, if you want to get this amp or anything else that I've demoed on the show, or you're looking for a new piece of gear, check Motor City Guitar out. There's a link below, and they ship anywhere in the continental US, and if you buy outside of the state of Michigan, you don't pay any sales tax. It's a win-win because you can get a really good piece of gear at a great price while helping the channel out, and I really appreciate that very much. And if this is your first time here, basically what I do here is I do a lot of gear demos. You know, I mean, I demo a lot of high-gain amplifiers from all different kinds of price ranges. I do a lot of high-end stuff, but I also do a lot of budget-friendly stuff as well. And today we are definitely going to do a budget-friendly amplifier. And I give you unprocessed audio, so that means there's no EQ or compression or no pre or post processing at all on my videos. I just find the sweet spot on the cab and put a mic or a combination of microphones up against the speaker cabinet and let her rip. That way I can give you a true representation of each piece of gear that I'm demoing on the show, and you can make the best decision that works for you. Alright, on with the video. Alright, so here are the settings of the amplifier as I played it in the intro video and the intro riffs. And I was running it through the Mesa 212 cab. So now I'm going to show you what the amp sounds like with and without the boost pedal. When you see the picture of the boost pedal on the screen, that means it's on. When it's not there, that means it's off. Now, as expected, it's pretty tight without the boost. I mean, this channel is known to be really tight and aggressive, and I prefer it with the boost. I mean, but to each their own. Everybody's going to dial it in differently, and depending on your style of music and your pickups and all that, you're going to either use the boost or not. Now, how close is this channel to the big dog, you know, the 100-watt Stealth? It's pretty close as far as aggression goes. Now, obviously, the 100-watt Stealth is going to be fuller and meaner sounding, you know, I mean, it's just the way it is, but it does have that same type of aggressive texture that the 100-watt amp has. Okay, so I set all the knobs to noon on the amplifier, so let's go ahead and turn the knobs and see what they do. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the overdrive pedal off for this segment, and then I'll boost it after I get things dialed in, and then we'll do some fine-tuning if necessary after that. Yeah, it sounds really good. This is actually a pretty cool sounding amp, especially for the price and the size. It's got a lot of aggression. I mean, this thing's pretty nasty. So, oh, by the way, I have the resonance knob at 3 o'clock. I mean, it's a smaller amp, so you want to turn up the resonance knob. That's typically what I've found on the lunchbox amps. You want to boost the low end a little bit on them because they just don't have the same kind of power section that the 100-watt amps have. So you can make up for that by boosting the bass and the resonance on the amp, and it definitely fills it up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and engage the overdrive pedal now and fine-tune the amp from there. Well, that didn't take long. I just had to fine tune a couple things. So I like it with the mids up a little bit on this particular model, you know. So turning up the mids definitely helped. It kind of fills it in a little bit. It doesn't get too honky, you know. It doesn't get that nasally thing going on. So I like that setting right there. Let me put it back on the amp. Now I like the presence right here, just past noon. Oddly enough, the presence knob on the 100-watt version of this amplifier is at 3 o'clock. So all the knobs are going to be different. There's going to be different tolerances and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. You don't want to dial this in the same way you would the 100-watt. So don't copy those settings because it gets really bright when you turn the presence on up to 3 o'clock on this amp, but on the 100-watt it's perfect there. And I just nudged the low end up just a little bit because when you turn on the overdrive pedal, obviously it cuts some of that out, so you always want to attenuate for it on the amp. And I backed the gain down a little bit. Let's go back to the amp. Yeah, so I backed the gain down a little bit, but honestly, the gain on this amplifier is pretty usable in a lot of areas. You know, you can crank it up a little higher and get away with that, especially if you want to do rhythms and leads, because you only have one high gain channel in this amplifier. And if you're doing rhythms and leads on it, you want to find that sweet spot that's tight enough and chunky enough for rhythms, but when you do leads, you got enough saturation and sustain to get you through those as well. And on a side note, the effects loop is great on this amp. I mean, everything sounds normal. I mean, I'm not having any issues at all with my pedals going through the amp. I mean, the delay pedals sound great. The chorus pedals, I mean, everything sounds really good through the effects loop. Now let's switch over to the clean channel and see what that has to offer. Let me add some chorus to it and see how that sounds. Very usable clean channel. Sounds really good. So just dress it up with a little delay in chorus and you're going to be good. So now let's see if the green channel on the lunchbox version matches the green channel on the 100-watt version. Because on the 100-watt version you can get a lot of gain out of the green channel when you crank the gain all the way up. So let's see what this one has to offer in that mode. I'm going to go ahead and turn the overdrive pedal off and just see what it's like without the overdrive pedal. Definitely not as much gain in that channel. Let's just hit it with a boost and see what happens. So it's a little bit beyond edge of breakup. It's actually a pretty decent crunch channel if you want to do some really low gain stuff, but it's not at all like the green channel on the 100-watt Stealth. But that said, it's still a pretty good channel. I mean, if you want to do some low gain stuff and boost it, I mean, you can definitely do that. Let me try one more thing. Let me crank the gain up a little bit on my mud killer and see if that helps it out a little bit. Well, it helped it out a little bit, but not enough to get it into the territory that I'd like to get it into. But fool around with it if you have one of these amps and see what you come up with your overdrive pedal. But for me, I would probably just use the clean channel for cleans only and use the red channel for all the high gain stuff. And I would find a sweet spot, like I was saying earlier, so that I can use it for a really nice, tight, chunky, aggressive rhythm channel and have enough saturation for leads as well. And some of you might turn the boost off for rhythms and then use the boost for leads too. That would be a nice compromise for some of you as well, depending on your style and your taste. Well, there you have it. There's a quick look at this really cool little amplifier, and it's pretty affordable too. I mean, you're looking at just over 700 bucks at Motor City Guitar, and I definitely think it does do the Stealth thing pretty well. Again, it's not as full as the 100-watt, but the voicing is really close, and so is the aggression and the feel. It's got that really nice response to it with and without the overdrive pedal. The same kind of response you get out of the red channel on the 100-watt version. Well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you so much. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I come out with new episodes or go live. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to click the link below and do some shopping at Motor City Guitar and get yourself something nice. You get a great deal on something that you want, and you support the channel as well, and you support a really good local business that ships anywhere in the continental US. Or you can join my Patreon for any amount every month. Just donate whatever you can, and it definitely keeps me encouraged to continue doing more videos for you, and obviously keeps the lights on here as well. Well, I'll be shooting this amplifier out with the MT-15 very soon, so hopefully you guys will stick around and watch that episode as well. Well, I got a lot of great stuff coming up. I'll see you on the next one.